My quiet Sunday morning turned into chaos the second a fake HOA cop smashed my car windshield with a baton. He shouted about emergency codes that didn't even exist. But what he didn't expect was that my camera was rolling, my neighbors were watching, and his entire scheme was about to collapse. It was one of those Sunday mornings where everything felt perfect. The sun was sharp but gentle, warming the hood of my freshly waxed car. I had spent 20 minutes rinsing, scrubbing, and polishing until the reflection in the paint looked like glass. My coffee sat on the porch railing, still steaming, waiting for me between sips. Birds chirped somewhere down the street, and the soft hum of a lawnmower drifted through the neighborhood. The garage behind me was spotless, every tool in its place, the floor swept clean the night before. For a moment, I remember thinking how rare it was to enjoy such quiet. No phone calls, no work emails, no distractions. Just calm. But that's the thing about perfect moments. They never last. Somewhere in the silence, the universe was winding up to deliver something I couldn't possibly expect. The sound hit me first. Not the thud of a car door or the slam of a trash can lid. This was sharper, like metal against glass. My body stiffened before my brain caught up. Then it happened again. A crack like a gunshot. I turned just in time to see a baton raised high above a stranger's head, and with one furious swing, he brought it down across my windshield. Glass exploded into a million shards, raining across my driveway. A few stung my arms and legs as they bounced off me, glittering like cruel diamonds in the morning sun. I froze. Who smashes a car in broad daylight? And why mine? The man stepped back, adjusting a cheap-looking security uniform that looked more like a Halloween costume than anything real. Across the back were fading block letters, Community Safety Unit. A flimsy badge dangled on his chest, Emergency Compliance Officer, barely legible as it peeled at the edges. "Sir, you are in violation of emergency safety codes," he barked, baton pointing at me like I was supposed to drop to my knees. His voice cracked halfway through emergency, and for a split second, it might have been funny, if not for the spiderweb of destruction spreading across my windshield. I blinked, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. Emergency safety codes? This was my driveway, my car. There weren't any codes to break here. Instinct kicked in. If I couldn't stop him physically, I'd document it. My phone slid from my pocket, camera app open, red light flashing as I hit record. The moment he saw the phone, his whole demeanor shifted. The barking authority crumbled, replaced by a nervous twitch. "Stop recording immediately," he shouted, his pitch climbing higher. "Documentation is strictly prohibited during active compliance reviews." I didn't move. I just zoomed in on his plastic badge. That's when it happened. His wallet slipped from his pocket and hit the pavement. Papers and cards spilled across the concrete. Keeping my camera steady, I picked it up before he realized it was gone. Inside, business cards from a company called Compliance Solutions LLC, his name, Travis Doyle, and even stranger, handwritten notes with dollar amounts, quotas, and neighborhood lists. My blood ran cold. This wasn't random vandalism. It was a job. A racket. But Travis wasn't done. He squared his shoulders, trying to regain his fake authority. "This property is flagged for immediate assessment," he shouted again. Except now, the audience was growing. Curtains shifted across the street. Neighbors were starting to watch. And then, like a guardian angel in pajamas, Claire Benton stepped out of her house. Claire, retired corporate lawyer, local legend, and the sharpest mind in the neighborhood. She strolled across the street, coffee in one hand, a thick manila folder in the other. Her expression was calm, collected, the look of someone who smelled legal trouble brewing. She didn't even address Travis at first. Instead, she raised her voice toward the gathering crowd of neighbors. "Has anyone here seen this gentleman's official identification or written authorization for his claimed enforcement powers?" It was a trap, and everyone knew it. Claire wasn't asking for answers. She was forcing him to reveal himself in front of witnesses. Travis puffed his chest and waved his peeling badge. "This is an active safety assessment. Civilian interference is prohibited." Claire slipped on her reading glasses, studied his badge for 10 seconds, and smirked. "Interesting. Wrong seal, outdated statute, and your cited code was struck down years ago. She flipped open her folder, highlighted laws, copies of municipal codes, neatly written notes. The neighbors murmured, nodding, whispering. Travis's mask of authority was slipping fast. I thought that would be the end. But the morning was only getting started. Sirens cut through the murmurs. A patrol car rolled slowly down the street, lights flashing but siren silent. Officer Miller stepped out, a steady, no-nonsense kind of cop. He scanned the scene, shattered glass, nervous crowd, me holding a wallet, and Travis with his toy badge. Sir, Miller said evenly, I'll need to see your identification and documentation of your enforcement authority. Travis snapped to attention, thrusting forward his laminated card and badge like they were the keys to the city. Miller barely glanced at them before his brows furrowed. Holograms printed, words are misspelled, and this seal doesn't exist. He radioed dispatch. A moment later, the answer came, no such unit. No such authority. Nothing. Travis's confidence drained away. He backed toward his beat-up sedan, muttering about needing administrative backup. Miller stepped forward, handcuffs ready. Sir, you're under arrest for impersonating an officer, property destruction, and fraud. Travis bolted. He barely made it 3 steps before Miller pinned him against the hood of his car. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The scammer who smashed my windshield was done. Or so I thought. With Travis cuffed in the back of the cruiser, Miller collected evidence. The wallet, the papers, the quota sheets. And that's when it all clicked. Because these weren't notes about me. They were lists. Neighborhoods. Properties. Dollar amounts. Quotas like sales targets. Neighbors began speaking up. Jim from 2 houses down shouted, my mom got one of those violation notices last week. Said her fence was blocking emergency access. Mrs. Patterson raised her hand, holding a letter demanding thousands for compliance upgrades. Claire's folder opened wider, spilling out months of research. I've tracked identical incidents across nearby communities. Same fake notices. Same bogus codes. This isn't just one man. It hit me like ice water. Travis wasn't freelancing. He was a cog in something bigger, something organized. We all thought the arrest was the finale. But standing there, watching Officer Miller shake his head at the quota lists, I realized something terrifying. This was just Act 1. About an hour later, we found out how wrong we were. A black SUV rolled into the neighborhood, shiny, tinted windows, polished to perfection. Out stepped 3 people in suits, crisp and expensive. At the front was a woman in a gray power suit, blonde, mid-50s, radiating confidence. She grabbed a wireless mic and portable speakers like she'd planned a press conference. Attention residents of Maple Grove Drive. Her voice boomed. I am Marcia Reed, president of the Sunset Hills Community Standards Board. This community has been flagged for comprehensive safety evaluation following this morning's compliance incident. Neighbors crowded closer, shouting questions. Who are you? What authority do you have? Her smile never wavered. We are authorized to conduct immediate assessments and implement corrective measures. Refusal to comply may result in utility suspensions and municipal enforcement. It was intimidation, broadcast live, in our own street. Claire leaned close and whispered to me, she just threatened utilities. That's extortion. And you've got it all on camera. I thought Travis's smashed windshield was bad. But this was a declaration of war. That night, I couldn't sleep. My living room looked like a detective's war room. Papers, screenshots, printed emails covering every surface. I dug into the website Marcia's team had left behind. Community Compliance Database. It looked official at first glance. Logos, forms, inspection reports. But every violation was fake. Manufactured. Domain records revealed it had been registered 18 months earlier, linked to a company called Neighborhood Enhancement Solutions. Cross-checking showed multiple shell companies across 7 states, all running the same scam. Then I noticed it. A car parked outside. Dark sedan, engine off, but I could see someone inside. Watching. My printer jammed halfway through printing key evidence, and the lights flickered twice. Coincidence? or intimidation. Around 2 a.m., my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Stop now. Or next time, it won't be glass you're cleaning up. My blood ran cold. They knew. By Wednesday, I'd made up my mind. If they wanted me silent, I'd go louder. I set up lights in my garage, camera pointed at the vandalized door still sprayed with safety violator. Papers spread across the table like evidence on trial. I hit go live. Good evening. My name is Daniel Harris, and I'm broadcasting live to expose an HOA fraud targeting families across multiple states. Within minutes, hundreds tuned in, then thousands. Viewers flooded the chat with their own stories, fake inspectors, bogus notices, intimidation tactics. It wasn't just my neighborhood. This was everywhere. Then a message popped up, verified FBI agent here. We've been tracking this organization. Your documentation completes our RICO case. Keep streaming. My hands shook. I was part of an active federal case, broadcasting it live. And then, the villain herself arrived. Marcia Reed, stepping right into my driveway, microphone in hand, ready to hijack my broadcast. She launched into her polished speech, but I pressed back with questions. Why do your notices cite repealed codes? Why are inspector signatures forged? The mask cracked. Frustration slipped through. Some families simply aren't the right cultural fit for these neighborhoods, she snapped, on camera, in front of thousands. The chat exploded. Racism. Extortion. Her own words burying her deeper. And then, sirens wailed in the distance, drawing closer. Squad cars boxed in Marcia's SUV as my livestream audience skyrocketed. Officers swarmed, cuffing Marcia and her associates as neighbors cheered. In the following weeks, federal prosecutors built a massive case. RICO charges. Wire fraud. Mail fraud. Over $2 million in fraudulent fees uncovered. Families forced to sell homes below market, homes bought back by the same network of shell companies. I sat in court, glass of water trembling in my hand, as witnesses testified. Victims from 7 states. Elderly couples harassed into debt. Young families bullied into moving. The judge's voice was steady, uncompromising. Marcia, 8 years. Travis, 4. Restitution funds established for every victim. A federal hotline created to report HOA scams. 6 months later, our street felt different. Stronger. Neighbors bonded, Claire elected HOA president, Walter the retired inspector consulting legitimately. Trust restored. Sometimes I look at my new car, polished in the same driveway, and think back to that Sunday morning. A single swing of a baton had unleashed chaos, but also justice. Because fake authority only works until someone says, enough.